Hey man, so I started to type this out and then I realized it would be a lot faster just for me to show you. So what these parameters here are doing, it's a multiplier on the noise. So let me show you. So, well, it's not working. Oh, that's why. My mouse up. Still not. Ah, it is working. Okay. So if you take this matrix, which is defined here, if you look at this guy, this is basically what the matrix is giving you. This orient, this is kind of how you can check it. You can check this guy on, and you can see this orient here, which is what we're making. And then here we're just making it into, we're just converting it basically into a matrix 3. Which we actually could have done with, I think Q convert is how you do it. Anyway, I don't care. So if you plug this, we're multiplying the position by the inverse of this matrix. This matrix is defined here, and it's being copied onto these spheres. For every point, the matrix is being copied. You can see they're all the same for this particular sphere. And then let's say like this one is different, but they all have the same, all the points have the same as that matrix, because when you apply an attribute to a point from what you're scattering, and when you apply that to your copied point, it typically copies it over unless it's specified in this group here. So that caret means don't copy over. So that matrix, I made sure also to copy it over using this, just comma M, just to really ensure that it's really being copied over, because I had to make sure it was, because it's super important. So that matrix is on the points, it gets copied onto each point in the sphere, and then we're using that here. So we're saying, hey, grab that M point attribute, invert it, so that's going to give us world space. I'll show you what I mean. You multiply the position by that matrix, you plug it finally. Here we go. Let's plug it into here, and you can see what happens. All those points were here, and now they're here. Well, if you normal it, they're all right in the center of the origin. Well, a little bit offset, because that's where this guy is. Oh. It's different because I guess p-scale. So if we make this 1, should be exactly the same. Yeah. So all it's doing is it's taking that orientation and the pivot of where each point is, and it's basically just inverting it. So all those points go right down here to 0. It's basically what it's doing. I'm explaining this horribly, but I did something here. I want to change it back. Here we go. So what's happening, let me maximize this really quick. Ah, shoot, magic code's opening up. So what's happening is we are inverting the position so that X is going this way on the sphere, Y is going this way on the sphere, and then Z is going this way on the sphere. And that is quote unquote like world space, right? It really is world space. So because the sphere is in quote unquote world space, or like at the center, we're able to let me walk through this again. So you can do stuff to the position before you put it into the noise. So what we're doing here is we're saying, hey, make every sphere, this output here is make every sphere like basically world position, like what you saw. Make every position this before you do your noise. Like this is what's getting fed into the noise. That's what's getting fed into the noise. So the idea, let me leave this on. So the idea is feed this position into the noise, into this noise here. Okay? Then here we're saying multiply x by a certain number, y by a certain number, and z by a certain number. So when we say x, y, and z, this is global. This is the only way I figured out how to do it. I couldn't figure it out locally, so this is what we're having to do. If you find out later on like a better way, let me know. But this is how I figured it out, just for this scene. So first, take it from local space into global space. So like this space here. Multiply each component of the noise by a certain number that you specify, so that way you have control over each component. And then what we're doing is we're rotating it back. Let's see, we're converting it from a matrix 4 to matrix 3. This is how I found I had to do it. You can't just take the matrix 4 and plug it in. It breaks. I'll show you. So if I take this and I change it, it breaks. See that? And I think that's because it's applying the position as well as the rotation. And we just want to apply the rotation. Honestly, I don't know. That's just what worked. Again, I'm pretty new to matrices and stuff like that, but so we're putting it in global space, doing the noise, limiting the noise in global space, and then we're putting it back to local space. That's what this multiply matrix 4 to matrix 3 is. And then we're adding that noise to the position. So it's like, I can't show you with my hands, but it's like, you know, I hope that makes more sense. That's the best way to describe it. I wish we didn't have to do this crap, and I wish it was a lot easier. Like, oh, apply normal or do local matrix transforms. I don't know. Stuff's so complicated. And yesterday I was working on a tire sim, and I needed the tire to be like, it was moving in space, like along, say like this way here, like going down the street, and they wanted like smoke going up the tire, kind of like a burnout. And usually burnouts happen when the tire is basically standing still. It's just spinning a lot on the road. And I had a really hard time with it. So I'm like, okay, let me like create a matrix for the tire, you know, put it at world origin, do my simulation, and then put the simulation, basically parent it back to the tire. Oh man, it was so complicated because I had two different tires. It wasn't just one. They wanted two different ones, and both those tires have different transforms. They were like bouncing up and down. Oh man, it was a nightmare. I had to ask tracking to get rid of rotation on the tire because I couldn't figure it out. I did actually end up figuring it out, but I had to ask someone for help from my FX team. Oh my god, it was a nightmare. So yeah, this stuff is very new to me. I'm figuring it out as I go, and I don't know. It's exciting, but it's also like super frustrating. Anyway, I hope this helps like make more sense of this stuff. Again, like I'm just figuring this stuff out, but this is what I found. Also, while I'm here, a cool thing you can do, like speaking of like feeding stuff in, a cool way to distort noise. If you want to distort the noise more organically, what you can do is add turbulence to the position before feeding it in to the noise, like that. I mean, this wouldn't work because it's a vector 4, but you get the idea. Like if you had another turbulent noise, this would be really cool to do, like a good idea to do, and that way you get like distortion. You probably already knew that. I don't know. I'm probably speaking to the choir here, but alright man, I hope that helps. Talk to you later.